Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. Trust Christian own nothing, control everything. Just want to thank you for tuning in live or listening to replay. This is episode 231 PSA, which is a public service announcement. So this is the vault episode 231 PSA. Why Moors have no standing in law. And we just thank everybody for tuning in live or listening to replay. This is an episode for a lot of the younglings, a lot of the younger Moors that have just adopted the thought process, a lot of people that have adopted this thought process that they're not black and that they want to correct their status. And so they want to correct their status in law. But this episode is to show why the Moors have no standing in law. Some people say, "Well, I've seen videos online of somebody talking down a judge, and I've seen people, say that they don't have to have a driver's license and drive around, and all these different things." And it's like, how's that worked out for you? So we're not gonna allow any more brothers and sisters, any more younglings, to go through the system and literally get pulled over and get dragged out of their car because they don't know how to have a proper standing in law. So we're gonna talk to you all today because there's a lot of young ones out there that literally they're about to sacrifice their freedom for some old head's ignorance and some old head's lack of awareness, some old head's just bad thought process towards the truth. So this is episode 231 PSA Why Moors Have No Standing in Law. And this is the first and last episode. This is to address all the emails that the vault gets that literally the Moors will send an email and cannot type proper English in the email. Will send over you with the letter U. Will type over IEYE. They will type over all of these different words other than just typing plain English. See, you don't have standing in law when you don't know the language that you're speaking. But then we get these people that follow, no, I'm following Taj, and we got to use the etymon, and we got to know the etymon. You don't know the etymon of the word. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're speaking English, aren't you speaking Indo-European that deals with Latin? It's in the Black's Law Dictionary. Are the words that you using when you type an email to the vault in the Black's Law Dictionary? That's where it starts and that's where it stops. But people don't have a standing in law because they don't even know how to type in proper English for the topics and things that they're wanting to deal with. Me and my, typing in different letters and different words, typing in different languages. Ladies and gentlemen, when you type into the vault, it's plain and simple English. That's all you got to do. But for years, we let it slide. People type over messages like we have different assistants that people they don't need. They're not English, and they're reading the emails, and people are typing over emails, thinking they're trying to be fancy, calling themselves A's, Bays, L's, Days, and Dalis, whatever they want to call themselves, because they want to evade the law. How are you evading the law? They're not trying to be up under the law. You have to be up under a law because you're a child and you're supposed to be a child of God, a child of nature. There's natural laws. And if you can't obey a English law, if you can't obey a law that we all are utilizing, that's why common law is so beautiful. It's because it's a communal law based off of common rules and customs. Well, I was born into this world, and I wasn't trying to be born into the white man's world. Ladies and gentlemen, you were though. So what are you going to do about it? See, the young ones, they're nimble. They can adapt. It's the old heads that's trying to get young people trapped up. Talking about you don't need a driver's license. But you've seen people get yanked out of their car. So why would you do that? Why would you do that? You can give up your social at any time. But you want to know why people don't give up their social? You want to know why people play the fence with the social? You want to know why these elder Moors are still using their social? It's because they want them social security benefits for times like COVID so they can get PPP money because they feel they owed something. They feel like the so-called white man owed them something. The government owes them something. Don't nobody owe you nothing. Get rid of entitlement mentality. So the younger Moors, you're right, the Moors are broke. You don't hear any or see any of these Moors, these grand sheiks and grand sheikesses living in mansions and manors. Why? because they're not focused on building wealth in the white man system. They want to have you be poor in the system, have you be baroque in the system. So how can you have standing in the law and you ain't got no money? What you gonna use? A public defender who you already know is on the opposite side. They come from the public, and you saying you trying to go private. You trying to go private, but you over here dealing with the public defenders because you don't have your money right, and you're not able to have a good quality counsel. People have studied the law, so they should get paid for what they know about the law. Oh, the system is a fraud. This is a de facto government. The first president was black. Look, we're not going anywhere there for you because we already know it has no standing in law. Ladies and gentlemen, the younger brothers and sisters, y'all gonna have to do y'all research. Y'all can't let these old heads that ain't got no money keep telling y'all. Just look at the proof in the pudding. Look at how they pull out their bank account, baby. We may say it's not about the money, but guess what? Y'all gotta grow up with this money system. The old heads, they about to die off. They about to collect Social Security because they used to have a job, and they old enough now to say, "Oh, I'm done with the system. Already had children, so I don't need to worry about money anymore." Oh, really? But what about the young brothers and sisters? They trying to have children. They can't even afford children because they trying to wear all this natural stuff. They don't know if they should get money or not. Is the money real or is the money not? They got Moors out here telling people the money ain't real. When last time we checked, good food ain't even free. So you willing to let people eat genetically modified food because they poor? That's where the Moors is at. They don't have no standing in law because they broke. That's why. We already know why they don't got standing in law. And it's partially because they're illiterate. Y'all think that the people that read are not illiterate? See, the younger ones, y'all not doped up on all these genetically modified foods yet. Y'all not doped up on all of these vaccines and all this stuff. Y'all already have an intuition. Discern this BS. Get past these goofballs. That's what they are. They're trying to make you live broke. Don't worry about the money, young Moors. It's more-ish, right? Now you're not a Moor, you more-ish. You something like a Moor. I come from greatness. If you try to tie yourself to greatness, look in the mirror. That's all you got to do. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps and stop trying to get something for free. Because you felt like your parents didn't serve you properly. Because you felt like the public system didn't serve you properly. So now you're going to run off to these dudes that don't even got a driver's license. These dudes that can't even get on the airplane. How you going to see the world when you can't even get on an airplane? How you gonna get on a commercial flight? How you gonna get on a commercial boat? It's commercial, that means it's public. So what, you gonna stay broke half your life? Getting your money together? Instead of just learning how to properly operate in commerce? Own nothing, control everything? Not using, oh man, I got to get rid of my name. I'm not going to be who I was born to be. I'm going to be some El Bay Day and goofball. I'm a El Bay Day and goofball. But really, you want to be called the El Bay Day and goofball. But when we see the vote, we already know because we done went through it. We done flowed in these circles with these goofballs. Guess what? When they fill out paperwork, the real paperwork for their money, it's Christopher Walker. It's Neil Armstrong. That's what they are. Oh man, I did a name change. Ain't nothing wrong with doing a name change, ladies and gentlemen. If you truly feel in your heart that you want to do a name change, that's fine. But why are you trying to get rid of the bloodline that's here for you? Well, I don't want the slave master's name. Look, ladies and gentlemen, the vault can go deep. You chose that name on a spiritual level because it has power in it. You're in America. You're in a blended inheritance environment. It's the copper tone people's nation, right? Right. Well, we didn't cover slavery. We were already here. It's a blended inheritance. It's a blended inheritance. But the Moors didn't want to tell you that. It's the slave master name. Sure it is. That's the broke people's name. The El Bay Days and Ali, because we ain't seen none of them rich. We ain't seen none of them in the asset manager rooms where they generating millions and billions and changing lives. See, y'all want to talk about how the L Bays and Days and Ali's supposed to help some people out. Jeff Bezos, Amazon alone has changed your life by helping you get products at a more convenient rate. Before Amazon, how was you getting Prime products? How was you getting the Prime? How was you getting the product shipped to you within 2 days? And you think the Moors, the El Bay Days and Ali's and Goofballs are not using Amazon at their convenience? That's why they don't have no standing in law. Because they lying. Because they want to live half a truth. And they want to live half a lie. Noble Drew Ali, who was Timothy Drew, got information from Fard Muhammad. They all ran in the same circles in the 1913 and 19. That's what they did. They was trying to escape the system because they were broke. They wasn't trying to work. They think they going, oh man, the United States is bankrupt and there's a lien on the United States. He was going to bring back the knowledge. What are you talking about? What are you going to do today? If the information was so strong, the consciousness of people that got it, that so-called conscious, they would have did something with it. Let's talk about this trust stuff. Let's talk about this business stuff. Guess what? Own and control everything. The movement works. When the president says I don't have a tax return, that's called trust, Christian, own nothing, control everything. When Mitt Romney says that, it's trust, Christian, own nothing, control everything. When Rockefeller says it, it's trust, Christian, own nothing, control everything. See, there's a consciousness behind the information, a group consciousness. What consciousness are you operating with? A wealthy mindset or a broke mindset? That's why they don't have no standing in law. But they want to be a El Bay Day, a Ali, and Goofball. This is always going to go to the young ones. The old heads, we already know how y'all trying to play it. Y'all not even trying to work. Because if you don't want to deal with taxes or whatever, look, the social, you could give it up at any moment. But y'all not running off from the United States. Y'all ain't skipping tail and jumping out the country. Y'all not doing that. But y'all want to sit around and talk about how you a Bay, Day, L, and Ali. Disowning your family name. That's the white man's name. Sure it is. Now, how you going to say you the original people when you supposedly taught, the Moors supposedly taught the Europeans and brought them out the Dark Ages? So aren't their names a blended inheritance of the Moors? The Phoenicians? Oh, nah, man. Look, I got to get back to the original. You don't know how far back the original goes then. Because it ain't starting with the Moors. Well, that was our last stronghold. Al-Marak, Al-Qibla. Look, ladies and gentlemen. Once again. Look. Money talks. And everything else what? Walks. They barely can afford a car. They can barely afford a house. They baroque. That's why they ain't got no stand in their law. Wise up so you can rise up. Young brothers and sisters, don't cater to the BS. When you see it, call it. Call it how you see it. And don't sit around it any longer. You have to be strong out here. Don't let these old heads fool you. Telling you, oh man, you just gotta, you gotta change your name. And then do what? You still gotta do business. You still gotta serve. If you don't work, you don't eat. That's how it goes in the universe. If you don't go outside and get sunlight, you're not going to get sunlight. This is basic mathematics. But oh no, the old heads want to tell you, man, just go ahead and stay broke. And y'all know y'all got dreams and goals. Y'all know y'all got gifts. But this is to address all the Moors that want to email the vault and not even type in proper English. We're not even responding no more. We're not responding to your broken English because you think you know the etymon. You don't know nothing. Because when you go into court, do you type like that? No, they don't. They wouldn't last 2 seconds. They're gonna be looked at as be looked at as an invalid. They don't even know proper English. But they think that they can administer the law. But I seen Taj doing it for a minute. I seen the Els, Bays, and Days, and Ali's doing it for a minute. Why won't it work for me? Ladies and gentlemen, Trust Christian in the Vault, we do workshops. You gonna shake our hands. We ain't into the fraudulent poo-poo games. We're sharing with you that you got to get your money right so you can move into environments where you can change people's lives. So you can create clean water machines for places like Flint, Michigan, and not depend on the so-called white man to solve those African indigenous descent people's problems. That's what we talking about at the Vault. We talking about solving real world problems. Not your last name. Not trying to not deal with the so-called white man. That's what we talking about at the Vault. Don't even reach out if you can't type in proper English. Don't even reach out if all you're going to do is type in the subject line and not even put a quality message into the Vault. We don't need broken people. Some people say, well, you got to have broken people because that's why you're doing it. No, we only strengthening the strong here. We ain't catering to the weak, the ones that don't want to lift themselves up. Young brothers and sisters, you got to lift yourself up. You can't be a follower of the man because he's older. So what? Y'all know y'all willing to outwork that old head. So go do it. And study and in work ethic. Go outwork these fools. But don't let these fools keep leading y'all down a path of destruction. So you could think just because you put El Bayday or Ali or Goofball at the end of your last name, you're going to be saved. You're not. You won't have no standing in law. You're going to be just like the rest of those goofballs. Broke. Locked up. Yanked up out the car. Not even traveling. Enjoying your life peacefully. That's why they don't have no standing in law. Because they trying to mix laws and don't even know the law. They going to use the English words, but then going to make them incorrect in a sentence. Ladies and gentlemen, don't fall for that one. Wise up. The rise up. Appreciate you all for listening to this episode. Share this with your friends and family in your Moorish community, and say, let's get back to getting this money as a community. Let's get into a community trust. Let's work together. Not worry about some stuff that doesn't matter. It's about the money. Money talks and everything else walks. We're not saying neglect your spirituality for your money, but I can tell you right now, money talks, everything else walks. And all the ladies out there, they know that. They don't want to be with a broke dude. But for some odd reason, we've seen years after years after years, these Moorish dudes trying to practice polygamy, and they ain't even out there working. They got their women out there working. They got their women out there working. And they ain't even working. Having babies and can't take care of them. Stealing property through adverse possession. But they own it though, right? Well, I got my public trust in place. Who created it? Who's the grantor? We private over at the Vault. We live it. We don't just talk it. Trust Christian, no, not control everything. Christian that trust Christian if you want to reach out. But don't fall for this stuff no more. Make it a point to hit the books or get around people that's going somewhere in life. Not the ones that all they want to do is read the Circle 7 Quran. Really? Where's the money at in that? You can't even buy paper to print it on if you ain't got no money. See how y'all keep neglecting the spiritual principle? Money is spiritual. But they want to neglect it though. What, you supposed to have a modest pence in life? You supposed to have a modest pence in life? I just want enough to get by. That's called a job. Go get one. When you want to be in a vault, when you want to be private, you're free. You're free to make whatever you want for whatever you want to do and the good to do it with. That's it. Be free. Not up under some doctrine. Be free. Stop making the so-called white man y'all enemy. Whether y'all know it or not, the so-called white man wants to do business with y'all. Why? Y'all the richest people in the world, right? Didn't they learn everything from the Moors? Right? So why wouldn't they want to do business with the ancestral DNA bloodline to help them out? To get away and escape from England, to create this empire that England created. But oh no, y'all think they forgot. Y'all think it's some adverse possession. Why? Because a few broke Negroes wanted to sit here and not even give y'all the truth. They want to indoctrinate you in the Holy Seven Circle Quran. Oh, whatever it is they talking. But they can't even type plain English in a daggone email. But they look, whether y'all know it or not, young brothers and sisters, the old heads still reach out to the vault. If the vault wasn't righteous, if the El Bays, Days, and Ali's was so righteous, they would have had the trust knowledge on their own from the Noble Drew Ali Trust. But they don't, because they suck. That's why. Because they suck. That's why. And if you're going to keep falling for that, so be it. But the rest of us, we woke. We not under no white man's, so-called white man. We ain't under no brothers or sisters. They hide your brother and their sister, but they leading you to brokenness. They ain't even leading you to the wellspring of money. That's abundance. We live in an abundant universe. They ain't talking about no abundance. The money ain't even real. These are the Federal Reserve isn't real. What are you talking about? The Federal Reserve isn't real. They got man, these people got organizations, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all better stand up, wake up, and stop playing games with yourself. That's called living in a fantasy world. The Federal Reserve isn't real. It's not a government institution. Are you serious? Name one government institution that truly wasn't created from the government. They're all third-party organizations. And you might have to create one too to protect your family and bloodline. Just like they are. They're protecting and preserving capital. Are they not? Didn't they do quantitative easing? They said, we can't let there be a strain on the money supply, so we got to print more money. It makes sense. But all great systems go down. Ladies and gentlemen, don't nothing last forever. But the system of modern money mechanics is working. It's allowing you to get real food as opposed to just getting genetically modified food. Man, just because you think you changed your last name, you did something. And didn't even type English properly. But the younger brothers and sisters following behind this. Because they trying to do better for their lives. And these old heads out here think, man, if I just change my name, everything going to be good. Noble Drew Ali say you got to get rid of the old name or don't use the old name no more and use your new name. But why they coming to the vault? Why they coming to the vault? We ain't biased towards anybody. We deal with all cultures. Asians, Caucasians, Middle Easterns, Aborigines, Australians, South Africans, South Americans, Americans. We deal with them all because it's a holistic approach. And when you start taking an adverse possession towards the universe is going to take an adverse possession towards you. How you going to be in universal flow and you deny who you are? I'm trying to be a El Bay Day Gupo. You denying your DNA is in your name. How spiritual you don't even know your name is a spiritual thing. The words are spiritual. The letters are spiritual. But I'm focused on the etymon. That's why they don't have no standing in law. Appreciate y'all for tuning in live, listening to replay. Make it a point to man up or woman up and get yourself counted in the universe. And stop trying to hide out in the crevices of darkness. Because you know you're going to have to do some work now. You're going to have to study. You're going to have to make your English proper. You're going to have to learn multiple languages. These cats has got people stuck in a history that ain't even accurate. If their information was so good at the Moorish paradigm, how come we ain't seen none of them hold no political offices or move into positions of true power and wealth? Because wealth is power. Power comes from having wealth. It may not always be monetary, but if you don't know the language that you're speaking, how to write it properly, it don't matter. But I seen people win in court. Man, what a joke. Some stereotypes, are they real? Are they true? It's still a stereotype nonetheless. See, the vote is focused on accurate demonstrable knowledge, not about goofballness. Because you want to be a part of something. Because you don't have an organization to run to and hide your weakness in. The vote's not about weakness. It's about truth. Everything we show you has standing in law. Because we dealing with real families over here of all cultures. And they ain't going to let that slide. People actually dealing with money over here. So they not going to let that slide. Their families are living certain standards. And they not trying to go backwards. Because they found out that they not black. That they not a crayon. No crap. Of course they know they not a crayon. Well, how do we have our nationality? What's our nationality? With the land that you're born on, doesn't that in the law it says the land that you're born on you have some form of entitlement to. Right? Right. But the land is stolen. Ladies and gentlemen, what land is not stolen in the world? Y'all gonna keep falling for these lies? The land is stolen. Okay. Slavery's real too. But they didn't come over on boats. Slavery's still real. And guess what? Caucasians ain't never denied that slavery ain't never happened. Did they deny it? No. So what you gonna do about it? You gonna keep pointing it out to them? Something they already know? They already know slavery was real. Slavery's real. How many more times you gonna say that to them? They already know that. You think they about to give up their way of life for your means of life? No. They ain't giving up nothing. Because you wouldn't give up nothing if you was in a position of power. So you want to know how you maintain the position? You work for it. Because not every Caucasian comes from a position of power. And you can't say that African indigenous descent people don't have standing in the world because, ladies and gentlemen, there's the United Nations. African indigenous descent people sit in those rooms. African indigenous descent people sit in politics. They sit in these rooms. They just not claiming something that's just going to make them look like they better than somebody. Well, I don't want to be called a crayon. I know I'm not black. Fine. Don't be it. Be an American if you're an American. That's it. If you want to claim a deeper descent, African American. It's a continent. You think that why you think Caucasians accept African American? Because they okay with the fact that they understand majority of your bloodline. Because they actually said that if you had any type of African indigenous descent in you, we're gonna let you claim that. Aren't you proud of that? Aren't you proud to be called an African American? Well, that's two continents. Oh, wow. That means you have a blended inheritance. They call white. Are they really white? No. We know what the color white look like. So yes, we do have to correct our speech. But it ain't sending over no email to the vault, sending words backwards. We're not replying to it any longer. Don't worry. If you don't get responded to because you're El Bay Day Ali goofball that doesn't know how to type properly, don't feel bad. The vault's not. We don't need ignorance. We need more educated people on our side of the table. Bottom line. No more of these lies from Noble Drew Ali, who was Timothy Drew. He wasn't born Noble Drew Ali. He went over and got information from the largest slaveholders before the Europeans even set foot on the continent of Africa, who was the Muslims. The largest slaveholders of Africans was Muslims. But he wanted to take on the Amdalalush names and the El Bay Days of Ali names. I'm going to reclaim these names and give them back to the fallen people. And they still ain't rised up yet. And they ain't going to rise up because they can barely write the language they speaking. Barely know where the language come from. And if you think a history lesson is going to put some money in your pocket, let's see how it works out. The vault don't care. We already know what talks. You got to go to the temple. You know how many people literally said they got kicked out of temples? They got kicked out of temples because they saw the BS. They called the BS. Man, they won't let me in the temple unless I change my name. They won't let me in the temple unless I give up something. Yeah, you right. You might as well say you a Freemason giving up your butt. Right. The rituals. The only thing you got to sacrifice is your ignorance. Some time, some energy, and putting in some hard work to go out and serve the world. Not sit around trying to be poor and broke. That's why the Moors don't have no standing in law. They're avoiding the truth. Truth is, you're not black. It's a crayon. Truth is, they not white. It's a crayon. But when you deal with a group consciousness, that's what people do. They have group consciousness, ladies and gentlemen. It's a group consciousness. So what you gonna do? You gonna keep acting ignorant? Or you gonna say, man, I know I'm not a crayon. So study the law and know the land that you're born on, that's what you can claim. You're an American. You say you're the true copper colored people, you're an American. You have a blended inheritance. Appreciate you all for tuning in live, listening to the replay. Christian at trustchristian.com. Don't send over no emails with no broken English no more. We telling y'all straight up that L Bays, Days, and Ali's and goofballs because it's not even worth the response anymore. It's childish. That's really what it is. We got people that are over 18. They went through an American school system that taught them proper English, or at least what little bit of English they taught them, and they don't even send over proper emails. But they think that they supposed to get a response back because they think they down for the cause, brother man. You're not down for the cause. You're down for the BS. That's what you're down for. You're down for somebody fooling you. You wouldn't go to court with that, so why are you sending it to the vault? Appreciate you all for tuning in live, listening to the replay.